The judge has ruled that Edward Snowden needs to pay millions. Yep, John Boehner is, well, he's just written a book. Amy Klobuchar, the Democrat, she has come out and said that President Trump has the right to pick that SCOTUS. And Mitt Romney is backing that up by agreeing that, if you put the person in front of me and they're a good candidate, I'm going to vote for them. Chicago postal workers are being shot while on the job. Whoa. And lastly, we have some Florida high school boys who did the right thing. So let's get into it. Welcome back to the Daily Facts. All right, let's start off with the judge ruling Snowden to give up millions from book speeches. Okay, so Edward Snowden, the former National Security Agency contractor charged with espionage in 2013 after releasing classified documents on U.S. Surveillance programs, has agreed to pay more than $5 million in profits from his book and speaking fees to the U.S. government, CNN reported Monday. Wow. $5 million. A federal judge ruled in favor of the Justice Department in a 2019 lawsuit filed against Snowden that argued the whistleblower's autobiography, permanent record, violated a non-disclosure agreement, according to court records. As of this month, Snowden has earned approximately $4.2 million from book sales, royalties, and related rights, according to CNN. The court filing from the Justice Department claims that Snowden's 56 paid speeches, including information that violated his government secrecy agreement. So they're taking everything that he has. I mean, he has earned approximately $4.2 million, and they want $5 million. So essentially, the goal here to me is to leave him broke, because how else is he going to make money? I mean, I suppose he'll continue to do speeches, but you would imagine that he was doing a lot of those speeches early on, right? And that's when he was getting paid, when he was hot, when it was really the news, the buzz. So, I mean, I don't know how they're going to recover the money. The court decision comes after President Trump said last month that he was looking at pardoning Snowden, despite calling Snowden a terrible threat and a terrible traitor in 2013. Well, I am glad that Snowden came out and told us the degree of spying that was going on, because we had a right to know that. And he opened up a can of worms that could never be put back in. So for that, I'm grateful. Everybody's writing a book, right? Everybody is writing a book right before the election. And John Boehner is no exception. So, Politico Playbook, here's what's in Boehner's new book. Okay. So let's take a look. John Boehner's new book has a name, a cover, and a release date, and it's all delicious, as you would have hoped. Oh. All right, the cover has a photo of Boehner drinking red wine with a cigarette burning in an ashtray in a very Washington-like room. Oh my goodness, let's take a look at the cover. Oh, wow. Now, see, this tells me a lot. You drink in a smoky, dark room, and you make decisions when you're drunk and smoking. I mean, because alcohol, it clouds the mind, right? People shouldn't be making major decisions for the American people drinking in a dark room, smoking cigarettes. But anyway, that's the cover. All right. St. Martin's Press is the publisher, and the deal was negotiated by Matt Latimer and Keith Urban. Oh, that's nice. It's the most honest memoir about how Washington really works ever written. If you want something that's honest about Washington, watch House of Cards with, yes, of all people, Kevin Spacey, who does a phenomenal job. He may be an awful person, but he's one heck of an actor. And if you haven't watched House of Cards, I strongly suggest you do. Because, I mean, to me, it just really tells you what goes on behind the scenes. And there's drinking going on. There's deception. There's diabolical, devious plans and things that are put into motion. People die, so on and so forth. So that's, to me, where you're going to get it. You're going to get some truth, which is in fiction, right? I mean, art imitates life, as they say. Okay, the book also includes stories about George W. Bush, Bill Clinton, Barack Obama, Nancy Pelosi, Mitch McConnell, and Joe Biden. Well, what kind of stories? Stories of him going to lunch with them, him talking to his grandkids, him talking to them about his grandkids. I mean, what kind of stories? That's not telling me anything. And I would suggest that this book isn't going to tell you anything. So this is just something to, just a little something to know that he's got a book out. If you're a Boehner fan, then I guess you're probably going to buy the book. All right, let's move on to Amy Klobuchar, because she was mocked for a tweet that she inadvertently arguing Trump should fill SCOTUS vacancy. That's the headline in this Fox News news article. The people pick the president nominates the justice. That is how it works, the senator wrote. Well, I couldn't agree more, and I'm sure you listening, you would agree as well. I mean, it's that simple. There isn't much more to this article than that. We're not going to spend too much time on it. Senator Amy Klobuchar, a Democrat of Minnesota, is facing a bit of mockery over a tweet that inadvertently argued that President Trump should fill the vacant Supreme Court seat. I don't think it was inadvertent. I think it was just, she said it, she meant it, she knows who the president is, and she knows that that is what we do. When a SCOTUS seat is available, the president fills it, period, end of story. Amid the ongoing battle on Capitol Hill over whether the Senate should confirm a SCOTUS nominee this close to a presidential election, doesn't matter. Both Republicans and Democrats have been flipping the script from the positions they took in 2016 when Senate Majority Leader Mitch McConnell blocked President Obama's nomination of Judge Merrick Garland. However, while trying to make the argument that Americans should weigh in on the judicial nominee with their votes for president, Klobuchar botched the execution in a Twitter post. I disagree. The people pick the president nominates the justice. That is how it works. Now, just that tweet alone just tells me her attitude. She knew what she was typing in there, and she knew that it would get some blowback. But at the same time, she knows it's the truth. So, I say good for you, Amy Klobuchar. Good for you. All right, now speaking of Supreme Court nominations and people giving the nod and the go-ahead, saying, yeah, this should be done, is Mitt Romney. So Mitt Romney says he supports moving ahead with Trump's Supreme Court nominee. Let's listen to what Mitt has to say.
What I intend to do is to proceed with the consideration process, and if a nominee actually reaches the floor, that I will vote based upon the qualifications of that nominee.
Well, there you go. I mean, it can't be any clearer than that, and I mean, it makes sense, right? You have to put someone in front of me, put someone forth that is going to be a good candidate. Logical, reasonable, good candidate, a constitutionalist, somebody that, follows the Constitution. So Romney's stance further tips confirmation math in favor of Republicans. So, they're going to take this. Senator Mitt Romney said on Tuesday that he supports the Senate in moving forward with the Supreme Court nominee from President Trump ahead of the presidential election, further tipping the nomination math in favor of Republicans who want to replace the late Justice Ruth Bader Ginsburg with a conservative. My decision regarding a Supreme Court nomination is not the result of a subjective test of fairness, which, like beauty, is in the eye of the beholder, Romney, Republican of Utah, said in a statement. Well, I don't know how much of a Republican, I don't know about Mitt Romney, which is why this is making news, because, he's a, what do we want to call him? Like, I don't even know how to describe him, but I guess he follows what he believes is the right thing. I mean, who can blame him, right? It's based on the immutable fairness of following the law, which in this case is the Constitution and precedent. The historical precedent of election year nominations is that the Senate generally does not confirm an opposing party's nominee, but does confirm a nominee of its own. The senator who voted to remove Trump from office earlier this year continued, the Constitution gives the president the power to nominate and the Senate the authority to provide advice and consent on Supreme Court nominees. Accordingly, I intend to follow the Constitution and precedent in considering the president's nominee. If the nominee reaches the Senate floor, I intend to vote based upon their qualifications. All right, there you go. He's not saying I'm just going to blindly vote for anybody, but I'm going to listen and based on their qualifications, I will vote yay or nay. All right. I think that's logic and reason. I don't know about you, but, and he'll probably vote for the person. I believe that President Trump will get his person in before the election. That's just my humble opinion. I mean, he put it off until announcing who the person is until this coming Saturday. And some people are speculating, oh, he's just trying to make people squirm, this and that. And, you know, he wants the news cycle. And all of that may be true, but it also may be that he's going to that person and knocking on their door and saying it's time. And that person has some prep time, about a week to prepare. And I would imagine that President Trump has been, in his team, his administration has been in constant contact with at least the top 3 people that he was going to choose. I believe he was in constant contact and preparing them, and they in turn were preparing themselves for the media frenzy and the nomination, and then the questioning from Senate. So I think this person is just President Trump says, you're the person, I'm going to announce you. And that gives them time to prepare. Yeah, they prepared prior, but this is game time, right? So now this is happening. So we'll watch it unfold. It's exciting. It's very exciting because this new person is going to, I believe, make all sorts of waves. And we're going to see things change in this country like never before. It's going to be a great time to live in the United States of America. All right, so now we're off to the Chicago postal workers threaten strike after several mail carriers shot. This is from PJ Media News and Politics. So I thought this was interesting because I don't know if this is something that is going to be happening across the board. I don't know, but I just thought it was important to bring to the people. I mean, Chicago is a huge, thriving metropolis. And so, it's just, I think, value to know what's going on in large cities. So the agony continues for the people of Chicago who literally have no place to hide. The violence continued to escalate over the weekend with at least 45 people shot and 9 killed. Okay, so the shooting and killing is still going on, which is unfortunate. The most recent fatal shooting happened around 2:50 a.m. Monday when a 17-year-old boy was shot in the back as he was standing in an alley on the 6400 block of North Hamilton Avenue in West Ridge. Police said he was taken to St. Francis Hospital where he was pronounced dead. Around 2:15 a.m. on Monday, a 24-year-old man and a 25-year-old man were sitting in a parked car in 3400 block of West Carmen Avenue on the cusp of North Park and Albany Park neighborhoods when shots were fired. The younger man was shot in the back and the right hand and was taken to Swedish hospital in fair condition. The older man was shot in the head and was pronounced dead at the scene. Wow. So we know that just gives you a sampling of what's going on in Chicago. Needless to say, if you're outside and exposed, you're in danger. A 24-year-old mail carrier found that out when she was shot while delivering the mail in a violent neighborhood on the city's south side. She was shot multiple times, apparently caught in the crossfire between 2 gangs fighting over the same worthless real estate. She was the second mail carrier shot on the same route. Another carrier was shot and severely wounded last March. A few days after the postal worker was shot, another mail person was hit with a paintball round. Okay, we get the idea here, right? And it's just unfortunate. See, what's going to happen is these neighborhoods are going to get so bad that nobody's going to go in there. No one is going to go in there because they're not going to want to go in there, and they're going to protest going in there. And eventually people are going to have to come pick up their mail somewhere else. If this is a trend, if this continues, that's what's going to happen because people just simply are not going to want to work in neighborhoods that are hostile. I mean, you're just delivering the mail, the things that people in that neighborhood need, and you're going to be shot? Oh, no. If I were a mail carrier and somebody said, "Hey, we're going to give you this route over here on this side of town," I would say, "No, you're not. You're going to give me a route on the north side or a suburban area of Chicago. That's what you're giving me. I ain't going over there." All right. Speaking of people being messed with, Florida high school bans football team's police flag after critics deem it openly racist. You know, the term racist has been thrown around so much that it's just diluted. It has lost its meaning. I don't even know what it, I always thought that racist meant um, that you felt your race was superior. Now it just means everything and anything and everybody. I believe anybody can be a racist, but I think there are very few racists that live in this world. I think most people are just loving. Most people just want to get on with their day. They don't care what color you are. All right, let's get into this article. A thin blue line flag was banned by a high school in Neptune Beach, Florida, following a series of complaints that circulated on social media, according to report by News4Jax. All right, so let's keep going with this Fox News article. According to the outlet, the Fletcher High School football team started carrying the pro law enforcement flag last year as a way for one of its players, Kalen Lavender, to honor his father, his late father, Corporal Andy Lavender. Mr. Lavender was a Jacksonville Beach police officer who unexpectedly passed away in August 2019 after 29 years in law enforcement and was active in sports programs. He was one of a kind, his wife Lori Lavender told News4Jax, and he is very much missed and loved. Debate over the flag's meaning has come into question amid widespread protests against police brutality sparked by the death of George Floyd back in May. The flag is known as a pro law enforcement symbol. And I say, what's wrong with that? We need to be pro law. We need to appreciate what the men and women in blue do each and every day when they suit up and come out into this world. And they may have to deal, for example, going over to a bad side of town where a mail carrier has been shot. So, as a result of the backlash, Fletcher High School's principal, Dean Ledford, reportedly issued a statement announcing the flag would be banned. The flag, which is known as the thin blue line flag, has different meaning for different people, and rather than representing the young man's personal feelings, it was being interpreted as a political statement of the team and of the school, Ledford said. In consultation with the coaches, I determined that the act of using this flag in this personal way, while in the context of the football game opening ceremony, could easily be construed as representing a political position of our school and not just the personal feelings of the student and his teammates. Therefore, I have determined that it is no longer appropriate to continue. Ledford noted that he is in conversation with the student and his teammates about ways they can appropriately express their personal views. Now, I am not offended by the principal's explanation. I'm not. I think that makes sense. You know, the school wants to remain neutral, right? They don't want to appear biased towards anything. So I respect that. And I respect that he's trying to work with them to figure out a way in which they can show that. And I would say if the boys feel like they want to carry that flag, then maybe they could wear it on their jersey or something. But to call it racist, and I don't believe that the principal said that, but to call it openly racist is ludicrous. And somebody would really have to explain that to me because it just makes no sense. But let's listen to what the boys have to say.
Out of Ohio tonight, look at this. You have two high school football players actually suspended. Their crime, their terrible deed, carrying flags honoring our brave first responders onto the field prior to the game on the 19th anniversary of September the 11th.
I mean, I wanted to honor the people who ran towards danger instead of running from it 19 years ago, because I believe that nowadays we don't really honor them the same way as we did 19 years ago or anything like that, because I feel like we started to forget about what happened. So that's why I wanted to do it.
I wanted to honor the people that gave their lives 19 years ago trying to save those people.
All right, so there you have it, straight from the boy's mouth. All right, well, that's it. And thank you for stopping by the Daily Facts. Do like, share, subscribe, and leave a comment below. Bye.